Hey God Gamers, it's K-Wing here, and do I have a video review for you guys today. Mega Man 10 for the WiiWare, PlayStation Network, and Xbox Live. The Blue Bomber returns to his 8-bit roots again, but this time he isn't going solo. What do we think of Rock's latest epic? Well, you'll have to watch our video review to find out. In a world where robots coexist with humanity, a terrible event is about to befall the robot citizens. Dr. Light tells Rock that Roll has contracted a case of roboenza, a disease so terrible that it only affects robots. Meanwhile, the robots are driven mad by the virus and turn on their human counterparts. Outside Dr. Light's laboratory, even the vile Dr. Wily is in some major trouble. Deciding to join forces once again, the two begin creating a robo-cure pill. Rock heads out to save the world once more, but this time, Protoman says this is one mission he can't do by himself. Mega Man 10 is a side-scrolling 8-bit action-adventure game. In case some of you are new to the whole Mega Man series, the whole point of the game is as follows: to defeat 8 robot masters before facing the primary antagonist of the series. Part of the charm of the Mega Man games is being able to play any stage whenever you want to. Upon defeating a boss, you are rewarded with his power. Then you use said copied ability on your next adversary and just keep repeating this process down the line. New to the console Mega Man games is of course Easy Mode, similar in fashion to the one used in Power Battles. This mode alters the level design just a little bit. Examples of this are placing platforms over the spikes, Rock's damage decreases overall, and it changes the types of enemies and attacks. Mainly long-range attacks disappear. Hard mode is unlocked after beating the game on normal, and it does the reverse of easy mode. Challenges returns to Mega Man 10, although now there are 88 mini-missions. These are set up almost identical to Powered Up as well. Here players can practice boss battles or tackle different survival and race to the finish scenarios. Returning features from Mega Man 9 is the item shop, where players can use collected screws to buy different items like the energy tank, weapon tank, spike guards, etc, etc. Each character also has their own shop menu. Lastly, just like Mega Man 9, Mega Man 10 will offer downloadable content coming in April. Mega Man 10 offers a total of 3 playable characters. Mega Man, Protoman, and Bass will be available in April. Like Mega Man 9, Mega Man controls as he did in Mega Man 2. Protoman plays in comparison to Rock's abilities from Mega Man 3 through 8, being that he can of course slide and use the Charge Buster. Pressing the attack button shoots the default weapon, and holding it in for Protoman charges the cannon. Pressing the jump button will make the characters jump, and pressing down in the jump button will cause Protoman to do the Mega Slide. Both characters are able to use special upgrades and copying abilities upon defeating bosses. Mega Man has the Rush Coil and Rush Jet, and Protoman uses a shield instead of Rush. Gameplay for the most part is the same as past Mega Man games. Players select a level, work your way through it, and face that stage's boss. During the course of the game, players are able to cycle through power-ups by selecting powers with the top buttons, or bringing up the pause menu. We've also found that Protoman takes heavier damage than his brother and is best suited for advanced players, whereas Rock is the most balanced of the two, but his default weapon is very weak. Bass will be able to shoot in 8 directions and use treble instead of rush. For the most part, the game is very well balanced and offers a lot more options than Mega Man 9 ever did. Probably one of the biggest things going against this game is its harder difficulty. Mega Man vets are calling this just as hard, if not harder, than Mega Man 8 and X4. Yours truly beat the game 2 times on normal and now prefer going through the game on easy due to a recent spike in my blood pressure and a shortage of Wiimotes on hand to work with. Anyway, another drawback is this game is just as short as Mega Man 9, which is understandable considering its price point. Playing easy at times seemed like a slap in the face though, with way too many protective platforms. Yet hard mode seemed like it would turn you into Mr. Hyde. For us, the game's fun factor is cut in half over Mega Man 9, and dare I say it, Mega Man 5. I said it! Mega Man 5, 6, and 7 were considered cake compared to this game. Personally, everyone will find a stage or boss that they hate the most. The stage that I couldn't stand was Commando Man's stage, because of the stupid sand and the wind and those things that come out of the ditch and blow you up. I hate those things. The bosses that I couldn't stand difficulty-wise had to be Pump Man, whom I renamed Bubble Dork for obvious reasons. I just didn't like this guy, and especially on normal and hard mode. Oh, this guy just... He's so hard to read because it's like he's supposed to jump in the air and then release his bubble thing, or he's supposed to jump higher so I can run underneath him, and most of the time he just did like a little hop and then landed on top of me, and yeah, I ended up being killed. Chill Man was just annoying for me also because he would freeze you and then he'd run into you, but he was also not very predictable because you think there would be a pattern of shooting on the ground first and then the air. Sometimes it would be shooting in the air, then in the ground, and especially on hard mode, the guy is just unpredictable. The other boss that I didn't like had to be the Block Devil, but don't get me started on him or we'll be here all week. I also wasn't too keen on the weaponry, well, certain weapons anyway. The Thunder Wool drains wicked fast and takes a long time for it to work. The Rebound Striker is useful, but you run out of it very quickly as well. Chillman's weapon is not very practical at all. It has a slow rate of fire, and it makes it unsuitable for this otherwise frustrating game. Not to mention, what are you going to use the spike strip for? Other than fighting Nitro Man. I mean, seriously, what use does it have? Music-wise, while I congratulate Capcom for making an original score as opposed to a remake of past stage themes like they did in Mega Man 9, most of the tunes in this game aren't that catchy at all, and musically reminded me of modern compositions instead of 8-bit ones. Now, don't misunderstand me, I'm not saying the music is bad. Quite the opposite. I'm saying that while it sounds 8-bit, the compositions are not 8-bit. Do you get what I mean? With, of course, two exception of maybe 4 songs in this entire original soundtrack. Luckily for the Robo Brothers' latest game, it's pretty awesome. The game has a much more rewarding experience than Mega Man 9 ever did. The level designs for one are a lot more original to boot. One of the major problems I had with Mega Man 9 is the fact the game seemed to borrow way too many elements from Mega Man 2 through 4, which in reality is probably why so many of us enjoyed the game as long as we did. Just about all the stages in 10 are fresh and new. Pump Man's stage is an actual sewer, Sheep Man's stage is like a computer with flashing computer code and disappearing blocks all over the place. Nitro Man's stage looked like something out of Mega Man X's opening stage, and the list goes on and on. What I loved about these stages is how much of them offered an alternate route. This gave us more options and different ways to play through the game. Let's look at Pump Man's stage for an example of this. Players are going to come across a crossroads in this level. Either you can jump over the pit and make your way over to the next screen, which is a lot more challenging on the harder difficulties, or you can dive into the murky waters. Under the Water has that reminiscent Mega Man water vibe to it, plus we found that it's a lot easier to navigate through this part of the level. It also doesn't hurt that the players get a free energy tank along the way. Yes! While not a major fan of the music, I do have to say that Nitro Man, Solar Man, Chill Man, Strike Man, and Wily Stage 2 are some of the best Mega Man compositions I've heard in years. That's what a good classic song is supposed to be, folks. Stuck in your head and catchy. Easy mode was a nice change of pace and perfect for beginners. I myself like going through this mode because it felt more relaxed and brought back the fun factor that I feel was missing from Mega Man 9. Protoman is way better than in the last game. His controls are a lot more polished and he's easy to control, and he also now has the boss copy abilities. Talk about a win-win! Personally, I'm not a fan of Capcom's decision to tone down Rock's abilities and make him as he used to be. However, I like being able to play as Protoman, so I guess that evens it out.